Snazzy day, everyone. So for this lesson, we're going to work on the bass clef with the major triad chords and the minor triad chords, as well as the minor seventh chords, or the ones with the 4 notes in them, in terms of reading them on the bass clef. So basically, everyone knows pretty much that your minor scale, like a minor on the treble clef, if you were to change the treble clef to bass clef, it becomes its major, C, E, G major, so C major, right? However, did you know that if you were to read a minor chord on the bass clef, like let's say we're going to do E minor, right? On the bass clef. If we were to take E minor on the bass clef, for example, which has 1 sharp in its key signature, and read it upside down, it would turn into the major scale with 1 flat, right? So check this out. E, G, B, right? So that's that way, but if we turn it around, what does it read? F, A, C major, right? Which has 1 flat in it. So check that out. But it goes even deeper. So if we were to add the 4th note, which would be note D, to make it a 4-letter chord, and we turn it around, it turns into D minor, or the D minor 7th. So D, F, A, C, right? D, F, A, C. So there you have it. And the same goes for other key signatures as well. So hold on a second, let me show you a few more examples. Okie dokie. So on top of it, a minor chord becoming the major chord with the same number of flats as there were sharps, and vice versa. And then, of course, if you add the 4th note, becoming the minor with the same number of flats or sharps as the original chord. Besides that, you can also change the flats to sharps when read upside down, and it will still match. So, for example, let's do one with 2 sharps, right? So we're going to do B minor, which is B, D, and F sharp, right? So B, D, and F sharp, right? So there you go, B, D, F sharp. So if we were to look at the scale with 2 flats in it, so B flat, so we change this instead of a sharp to B flat, D and F, which would be B flat major. So B flat, D, and F major, right? So there's that. However, you can also add the A, right, for the 4th note. So that's the minor 7th, B minor 7th, I think is what it's called. And if we were to look at the notes here, so A, so that'd be your A. And if we were to turn it around, we would have G minor, right? So G, B flat, D, and F. So it still matches, right? So let's do yet another example. Okay, so we've done ones with sharps. So let's try the one with 4 flats. So A flat major, or A flat major, which would be your F minor, right? So F, A flat, and C for 4 flats would be F, A flat, and then C, right? But if we were to turn it around, so this should read the major that has 4 sharps, which would be E major, right? E, and then G sharp, because we replaced this with a sharp instead of a flat, right? And then B. So that would be your E major scale, right? And then if we were to add a fourth note, so F, A, C, like let's add E to the mix, right? Which would be E flat, because there's 4 flats, right? So E flat. Read it like that instead. So let's turn it around and see what it reads. It should read the minor with 4 sharps, which would be your C sharp minor, right? So if we were to change these two to sharps, instead we would have C sharp, E, G sharp, and B for C sharp minor with 4 sharps instead of 4 flats, right? And another example, why not? Okay, so let's try 5 flats, which would be your B flat minor, right? So B flat, D flat, and F for 5 flats, right? So B and D and F, and of course these are flat, right? So if we were to turn it around, it should be the major scale with 5 sharps in it, which would be B major, which is B, D sharp, and F sharp. So if we were to read these flats as sharps, what would it be? B, D sharp, and F sharp being a ding ding, right? So let's add the fourth note, which would be A flat, right? A flat would be right there. Let's just say those are out. So that's our B flat minor 7th, I think, or the 4-noted chord, I could say. So our minor chord with 5 sharps would be G sharp, B, D sharp, and F sharp, right? So if we were to read this upside down now and change these instead of flats to the sharps like we did before, and then that one to a sharp, what do we have? G sharp, B, D sharp, and F sharp for G sharp minor, right? So that works as well. And the same goes for all the key signatures, you know, whether it's 0 or 7 flats or 7 sharps, whatever. The same pattern works for all the minor and major triad and minor 7th chords on the bass clef. So have a snazzy dazzy one.